Desire in Buddhism, Taoism, and Stoicism. What is desire? Desire is a strong feeling of wanting to have something or wishing for something to happen. Desire is similar to aspiration, longing, yearning, preference, hunger for something, like many words in normal life. Many religious systems like Buddhism, Christianity, and Hinduism explained about desire. Buddhism. Buddhism is a great faith that was founded by Lord Buddha Siddhartha Gautama. The Buddha word means enlightened. Buddhists often meditate because they believe it awakens the truth. Buddhists embrace the concepts of karma and reincarnation. Desire in Buddhism. There are four noble truths explained in Buddhism, and they are the essence of Buddha's teachings. The first noble truth is that life is full of pain and suffering. So, the first noble truth identifies in Buddhism as Dukkha, means suffering exists. Birth and rebirth only give the suffering at every step. Suffering is real and almost universal. Craving, or Tanha in the Pali language, is an important concept in Buddhism. The root meaning of Tanha is thirst. It refers to either the mental or physical thirsty desire, longing, or greedy. Failure, loss, pain, separation, sickness, impermanence of pleasure, heartbroken, and many things cause dukkha or suffering. The second noble truth of Buddhism is the human desire causes this suffering. It identifies as samudaya, suffering causes due to the attachment. It is the desire to have and control things as we want. Samudaya can take many forms, like craving of sensual pleasures, the desire for fame, the desire to avoid unpleasant situations such as fear, anger, or jealousy. Lord Buddha taught three kinds of desires: kama tanha, bhava tanha, and vibhava tanha. Kama tanha means wanting sense of pleasure through the body or the senses, and always seeking things to excite or please our senses. As a man asked Gautama Buddha, "I want happiness." Buddha said, "First, remove I, that's ego. Then remove want, that's desire. See, now you are left with only happiness." Gautama Buddha. Buddhism always said, when remove ego and desire, humans can live with happiness, peace, and can reach enlightenment. Lord Buddha said, there is no fear for one whose mind is not filled with desires. Because a person whose mind is always filled with desires is in fear about when he can fulfill it. Or will he lose his wealth? We were reborn into this life because of our desire to be. Lord Buddha said the only thing not rooted in desire is nirvana. The nirvana is the phenomena and lies even beyond the Buddhists' use of the word all. Above always, said desire is taking us to suffering. But the path to nirvana is rooted in desire in skillful desires. While the concept of a skillful desire may seem strange, but a mature mind intelligently pursues desires that it sees as clever and abandons those who it sees as not. However, what appears to be a skillful desire can only lead to false or transitional pleasure. Unskillful desires can create suffering in a variety of ways, such as sometimes it may be impossible desires, like being immortal. The third noble truth in Buddhism is nirodha, which is an end to suffering. By overcoming attachments in this world, people can end suffering forever. People have unlimited desires, so they get unlimited sufferings. But Lord Buddha imagined the ultimate happiness by lowering his expectations. This ultimate happiness is free from the limit and lack that no need for further desire. Then he treasured his desires for that happiness as his highest priority. With nirvana, the mind experiences complete freedom, liberation, and detachment. There is a path to accomplish to end suffering. Buddhism said that the path is following eightfold path: right view and true understanding about four noble truths, samadhi, right thinking and aspiration to free oneself from attachment, ignorance, and hatefulness, sammasankappa, right speech with no lying, criticism, condemning, gossip, or harsh language, sammavaka, right action with not hurting anyone else, sama kamanta, right livelihood without harming others, sama ajiva, right effort to promote good thoughts, sama vayama, right mindfulness with becoming aware of our body, mind, and feelings, sama sati, and right concentration to achieve a higher state of consciousness, sama samadhi. There are some myths amongst Buddhists. The common myth is that desire is bad and a spiritually mature person has no desires. Another myth is that Lord Buddha taught that desire is the cause of suffering and therefore all desire, even the practice to nirvana, also a problem. In today's world, it becomes a fashion of commit suiciding because someone that has no desire doesn't have any purpose of living and it causes the depression also. Lord Buddha didn't teach that kind of thing. He encouraged his followers to arouse an ardent desire for liberation, nirvana. By clearly understanding healthy and unhealthy desires, people can live a peaceful and happy life. It is the core of Buddhism. Taoism. Taoism, is a Chinese philosophy attribute, Lao Tzu, which contributed to the folk religion of the people of the rural areas of China and then became the official religion of China under the Tang dynasty. So, we can identify Taoism as both a religion and a philosophy. As the core value, it emphasizes doing what is natural and going with the flow. Desire in Taoism. Like Buddhism, Taoism also emphasizes desire complicates people's daily lives. Taoism also explained the most same idea about desire. Tao is about the universe. Taoism doesn't suggest discarding all desires. It consistently warns us against harboring endless desire. But it doesn't mean that desires are undesirable. We can't live without eating or drinking, but overly eat or drink isn't suitable. Making money is necessary, but overly preoccupied with making money is against Taoism. Taoism explains about two kinds of desires. The first desire is inner desires. Without eating, laughing, talking, loving, and satisfying our curiosity about the true meaning of our life, we can't survive in this world. These desires keeping us alive and kicking. To live, we should find some fulfillments to those desires. With the inner desires, we enjoy the present life and we get the motivation to stay healthy, peaceful, and happy. The second type of desire is our outer desire. As outer desires, we can identify money, fame, and power to control others. We want these things to fulfill our inner desires. But going wild with these desires is against Taoism. So mostly outer desires can be sin while those run wild, while inner desires overwhelm. Outer desires also overwhelming and it hurts to inner peace and balance of life. If we fail to manage outer desires properly, it takes away from our peaceful mind. There is no greater sin than desire. Lao Tzu. Outer desires are equivalent to craving in Buddhism. The dispositions and false beliefs underlying these desires don't come from nature, they come from culture. People want to be content with their simple, everyday lives in harmony and free of desire. When there is no desire, all things are at peace. Verse 37 of the Tao Te Ching quotes. Stoicism. Stoicism is a philosophy designed to make us more resilient, happier, more virtuous, and wiser. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus were the Stoic philosophers. Stoicism was one of the new philosophical movements of the Hellenistic period. This was founded by Zeno of Citium, modern-day Cyprus, and was influenced by Socrates and the Cynics. Desire in Stoicism. The faculty of desire purports to aim at securing what you want. If you fail in your desire, you are unfortunate. If you experience what you would rather avoid, you are unhappy. For desire, suspend it completely for now. Because if you desire something outside your control, you are bound to be disappointed. And even when things we do control, which under other circumstances would be deserving of our desire, are not yet within our power to attain, restrict yourself to choose and refusal, and exercise them carefully within discipline and detachment. Epictetus, Enchiridion 2.1-2. According to Stoicism, there are two kinds of desires: desires of nature and desires of opinion. Desires of nature explain about daily needs like having something to eat for hungry, having some clothes to wear, and having a place to live. They are very important. Desire of opinion explains about desires that never can be satisfied by fulfilling. When one fulfillment complete, it creates another desire, such as gaining one promotion creates the next level of promotion. While the desires of opinion increasing, people can't spend a happy and peaceful life. It makes us running on a treadmill. Desire of opinion are boundless. Very little is needed to make a happy life. Marcus Aurelius. Stoicism says desire of opinion brings disturbances, calamities, misfortune, confusion, cause sorrows, and make people envious and jealous. The discipline of desire requires two elements according to Stoicism: understanding of desire of nature, human nature, and desire of opinion. From Stoic conception of human nature, people learn to seek joy rather than pleasure, be cautious rather than fearful, watch for things and events we think best rather than desire them, avoid grief which results in pity, envy, jealousy, rivalry, depression, worry, distress, anguish, bewilderment. Stoicism says that satisfaction has a short-lived and can fade away quickly, but desires never. Desires tempt us with eternal satisfaction, but what we end up with is a brief moment of satisfaction that is quickly gone. Stoicism teaches us to look at what we have rather than what we don't have to escape from the biggest trap of desires, which is never-ending. Because never-ending desires always try to make our focus only on what we don't have. Don't dream about things you don't have. Instead, think about the best things you have now and how much you would crave them if you didn't have them. At the same time, don't value them so much that you will be upset if you lose them. Marcus Aurelius. Summary. According to my understanding, these three religions and philosophies are keeping an equivalent idea about desire. In Buddhism, Taoism, and the Stoicism, like most religions and philosophies, teach us to avoid never-ending desire in our life for spending a better, happy, and peaceful life. Any philosophy doesn't teach us to avoid everyday desire in our life. According to all of those, we should wish only necessary things as the limit. Limitless desire makes us wild and eats our happiness and peace within ourselves.